Over the past 2 years, the world has seen an explosion of artificial intelligence systems, from the rise of ChatGPT to the numerous AI image generators we see today. It is clear that the world is changing. The question is, how will our lives change with it? Many people fear that the rise of AI will cause massive unemployment. Copywriters will lose their job to ChatGPT, speechwriters will lose their jobs to ChatGPT. Hell, it seems like even programmers are losing their jobs to ChatGPT. So, is that it? Will the world end in a blaze as a bunch of language models take over all interesting jobs and make us spend our time scrubbing toilets and doing laundry? The answer is no, and yes, and no, and probably not, but yes. So let's dive in. Really, AI is just another in a long line of automation tools that humanity has created. And this has been going on for, well, millennia. Irrigation systems put people who carried water out of work. Improved farming techniques put a decent chunk of farmers out of work. The Industrial Revolution basically automated away over 90% of jobs that existed in the 18th century. But here's the thing about each of these events. They did not cause mass unemployment. They all destroyed jobs, but also created them. The fundamental reason for this is pretty trivial. There are an infinite number of things that humans can do, so the Industrial Revolution may have put an end to a large number of agricultural jobs, but it created jobs in industry. Then further automation destroyed many of those industry factory jobs, but those people moved over to the service industry. Some of them consult for McKinsey, some work for banks, and some are copywriters. And now we arrive at the era of large language models and artificial intelligence. So why should we expect things to change at all? Seems like history teaches us that automation is not something to be feared, but embraced. Well, that's true, until it's not. Let's think about this from someone else's perspective for a bit. Someone who lost their job and never financially recovered because they were just not that useful for anything else. There's tons of examples of this. I'm sure you've seen them going around the street with little to no purpose. Some are even housed together so that we can make it easier for society to treat them. I'm talking, of course, about horses. No, seriously. Think about this for a minute. Horses had it made. We'd ride them into battle against the Mongols. They could escort kings and queens. They were the taxi drivers of their day. And then we got cars, and the vast majority of horses became utterly useless. Sure, some of them are still part of little tourist attractions that kids enjoy, but the vast majority of them had nothing to be useful for. So we, as a society, stopped breeding horses. In the United States, their population dropped by over 60% in the 20th century. So yeah, despite past experience, when a clearly superior means of transportation became available, horses went poof. So what about humans? The trick here is to understand that our usefulness is not guaranteed. There are a few ways our future could go. Scenario 1. AI is a dead end. Maybe we get a few more refinements, but AI does not fundamentally change our lives. Some things improve, some jobs disappear, but there's no real rise in unemployment and we go on normally. Scenario 2. Significant AI improvement. Under this scenario, AI keeps improving but does not totally eclipse humanity. It can help with many of the tasks we perform today, but is not completely better than us at everything. We keep using it as a tool and a significant part of the labor force is automated away. Even so, humans find new jobs that AI is not that good at. Maybe more people pursue weird funky startups or just start making wine. Either way, AI makes us a lot richer, but disrupts the labor force in the same way that the Industrial Revolution did. Scenario 3. We become horses. Under this scenario, AI becomes better than humans at everything. Need a babysitter? You get a robot. Need a consultant? You message ChatGPT. Need a wife? Marry a robot. Need a husband? Robot. Lawyer? Robot. President? Robot. So what happens to humans? Well, if this unlikely scenario takes place, then we might just become decorations. We won't have much to do. This does not mean that our lives will have to be bad, but much will depend on policy. If there is no way to generate income through being useful to others, then we'll have to depend on the state to provide us with goods and services. Maybe it's something like an UPI. It could really go in a myriad of ways. It could turn the planet into a Star Trek type utopia where the conventional problems of the past have been eliminated. Or it could force us and our population to dwindle if we get the politics of all this wrong. But even if we do get it right, recalibrating to a world without jobs will be difficult for most people. Life will become all that more absurd. This video was made possible with help from the University of Georgia, bringing quality education to Georgia and beyond.